Bagfuel, baby.
Who do you think would be able to manage you or us?
Steve Stoute.
Game over.
Oh my God, Steve Stoute. Y'all niggas that had Bagfuel, fucking Balenciaga.
Steve Stoute.
Real
Steve
rap.
Stoute.
Steve is the guy.
Steve Stoute could
A
do
lot of
it.
people don't know.
Yeah.
Like, remember, Steve Stoute was
Nigga,
there the
man.
night that me, you, and Rockwilder and Nas came to the studio that night. That was the first
Talk
time I
about
met Nas. Oh, so like, we was working on our album, and one of the best producers at the time, I ain't even managed the nigga, Rockwilder.
That's so
man.
I mean,
I'll take the credit though.
I mean,
yeah, you know me.
Well,
I'm a Brooklyn nigga. I'll take it.
Esso managed the nigga.
Yeah.
And like that was like our introduction again from us just being, we was always on the scene.
Yeah.
And just me seeing that, you know what I'm saying, how he was doing that shit. It was like, damn, this nigga's young as shit, and he managed this nigga that we paying this fucking all his money to, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, I sat back, I'm like, who is this nigga? I'm like,
I didn't even realize I was young.
Bro,
That was the crazy shit. When I realized that I was young, I'm gonna be honest, when K-Mac just said it, when he did the show, he was like, Randy was the youngest nigga doing it. I realized, I was like, damn, I was
when you
wild
walked in
young.
that shit, you looked like you
I
was
was
a
a
teenager,
baby.
nigga.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I'm
was
like,
young.
you don't manage, what the fuck? This nigga don't manage nobody. Like, how the fuck he know how to manage somebody?
I didn't realize it because everybody was young too. But they were older, but you didn't know Puffy was not your age.
Dutch.
Right.
How long you've known him?
We say 20.
About 20 years.
Let me ask you a simple question.
Since 2000.
Yeah.
How many young niggas could it have been where he's at doing what he's doing? Rough estimate, out of 100%.
I would say like 5%, bro. Because
If you ask him, he probably thinks 60%.
nah,
No, he be thinking a lot of niggas can do what he do.
Nah, bro.
I'm like, yo, even Ghost.
Let me tell you something, right?
Yo, thank you.
This what's so crazy about you, bro. I've never seen a nigga, right? Remember, you was working while we was at the studio. Like, remember, you was never off the phone.
Yeah, no, I was
Y'all
never.
had, like,
To this day.
remember,
I never a nigga.
I forgot who it was, but
I had two phones. It would be like, yo, hold on.
Yeah, at the time.
Yo, so literally.
Megan Good
Mm-hmm.
was her sister or somebody had a group at the time.
Yeah, we was in the
I
studio
remember
with
that
them.
group.
It was like
Tone had them. Trackmaster.
right.
One of the
so-
girls had red hair?
Yup,
Oh, man,
exactly.
that bitch.
Yo, one of them still one of them was Benzino's, the girl that was on the show with Benzino, one of them was
It
one
was?
of EXO.
It was her. Yo, no, but look, the crazy thing is,
EXO.
right? So we in this studio. First of all, the studio that we was in.
Mila J was in there.
Yeah, like
I know.
She was in the group.
the studio that we was in was like
Talk about it.
fucking. What was them hours like in that joint? Cause y'all was there like all the time.
We was there around the clock, but it was like 12-hour blocks. It was a minimum of a 12 to 14-hour block. But they was bringing in rigs and stuff. Remember? So it wasn't like what they had. So you had to have time so they could bring in the rigs and the specific that Rockwilder, and they had to connect it, and it was a process. So while in there, we was fucking around.
I know before we left there, cause we did like 3 records, just to, cause Rockwilder liked to get that one, them 3 joints to pick the best one.
Yeah.
So
That was always a thing for him to record
He
at
wants
least
to
3
have
songs?
3. At least, I mean, that's how you did it.
Yeah, because you don't know that.
Who went there with the project? You competing with fucking Timberland. And I need 3 records, bro.
Yeah.
Don't do 1 record and just think this 1 record's gonna make the album.
Yeah.
You actually want to cut more than 3. 3 was our minimum.
So that's what we didn't know that though. We thinking, cause you think this is Rockwilder, so you thinking like, he gonna have 1 beat for us, and this is what he picked out for us to go. Nah, he said, I want you to try this, then y'all try this, then y'all try that, because I want to see what the best sound is. So what happens is we do the record, the If You Want It record, and the shit picks up on the West Coast. We never had like a strong West Coast following like that. That record was so crazy because Clark Kent actually did the auto-tune on the record. We was doing auto-tune back then. This was crazy, but we was doing auto-tune 20-something years
And
ago.
Rottweiler was big in California.
Right, so
he was big in California, than New York still to this day.
Yeah, it started to pick up. So we saw that he knew what the fuck he was doing. You know what I'm saying? When it came to picking that sound, because it was so odd that the record that we picked from him wasn't that typical Rockwilder sound.
He did front to back by Exhibit around that time.
Yeah,
He was in
so
a different zone. Remember, I told you he lived out there for like a year, just working with Dre.
That shit was crazy. So going in the studio and then Steve Stoute coming by with Nas, I'm like, they like Nas here. I'm like, what the fuck is Nas doing here? Like, I mean, like, it was like, I idolized the nigga at the time because this is fucking Escobar. You know what I'm saying? He pulled up to the session. He like, nah, I wanted to meet y'all niggas. Steve Stoute, you know, he told me that he was the one that made sure that, because when we wasn't going to get over Interscope, because Interscope was like, y'all niggas is like kind of high risk group and boom, boom, boom. And then you got to remember with all of the shit that was going on at the time, they wasn't trying to, Steve Stoute said, nah, come on, come to the office. We went to the office, and I remember in that meeting, I had said something to him that took his mind somewhere. I just said, in my contract, I just want clause that I can always do what I want to do. And he was like, so you a young nigga thinking like that? All right, cool, I'll take y'all niggas. I'm signing y'all niggas directly to Interscope. So that's when they put the Funkmaster Flex the Tunnel shit out.
I remember that too.
And they put us on that album. You know what I'm saying? And that right there with Eminem and, you know, just all of them guys that was on that album, it actually, I didn't know it was going to be this huge.
But that was big back then, because like, yo, you want an album with these niggas, like.
It was a hell of, the lineup was.
And it was Flex's album, Funk Flex, it's huge.
Big
you
Cap,
right in
him and
Philly.
Big Cap shit, right?
Rest in peace, Cap.
Yeah.
Cap was a good dude.
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? Queen, and he's from Queens. Just so y'all know.
Yeah, quick shout out to
Queens. You know what I'm saying? But that was a special type of time, and that was the marketing. You know what I'm saying? So you can just get on somebody's record that's big, and they be like, oh my God, Snoop let you get a verse up there, we're signing you.
Yeah.
There's no reason why.
because it goes back to the original, well, not the original, but one of the questions of, because the digital world is so vast, where do you focus your digital dollars at? We know where we could focus our tangible money at.
On all of the platforms that you see are working these people's record. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta look through. You gotta continuously look through these places. You don't just jump out and just say, okay, all digital. You can't afford all digital platforms. You feel what I'm saying? You go with the one that's the most beneficial for your dollar. Because you gotta spend. People think you're not gonna spend.
They not spending.
You gotta spend.
They not spending.
Yeah, that's why they not going no fucking way.
They not spending.
That's why they won't be on Bagfuel.
Definitely not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the niggas, you won't hear about them niggas. That's why they won't be on no other motking podcast.
They can pay to get up here, though.
But still, if they don't pay, they not fucking coming.
Yeah, but DM me.
I said, yeah, but DM me.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
about
for
my
the 10% and the 90%. You got DM him too.
Yeah, DM me
Right.
too.
Because we want the whole 100%.
But we